Hello and welcome to SpearCenter. I'm Navin Krishnan. Before we begin today's telecast, we'd like to remind everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you'll find not just this edition of SpearCenter, but a number of others. And you'll even find some exclusive YouTube-only content like the Spears Weekly podcast and other video features. Okay, now on to sports. Spartans baseball took on the Nevada Wolfpack head-on in late April and grabbed the series by the horns, taking 2 of 3 games in dominating fashion. Seen throughout the series were heavy doses of domination and resiliency, mixed in with the sprinkles of unadulterated triumph. Matt Weiner gets you caught up on all the action.
The Spartans took 2 of 3 from the Wolfpack in the recent 3-game home series. In Game 1, they won 6-5. Before an out was even recorded, Nevada's manager TJ Bruce was ejected after arguing a towering shot from leadoff hitter Pat Caulfield was fair and not foul, which would have resulted in a home run. The Spartans got off to a 3-0 lead thanks to a first-inning home run from Hunter Dureau. The Spartans then gave up the lead in the 6th inning after Jonathan Clark allowed 4 runs and Darren Jansen allowed 1 run. But they got the lead back thanks to a James Shimashita 2 RBI teardrop down the left field line.
I know T-Walk will say pass the baton when we're hitting, if we need a big inning, then get the next batter up.
After the gutsy and emotional win, the Spartans laid an absolute egg and got blown out 14-3. Minus Dureau's 4-for-4 day at the plate, that included his 13th bomb of the year, the Spartans held no energy all day, evidenced by a never-ending 8-run 6th inning.
Didn't paint the happiest of pictures after the game, especially coming off a win last night in which I was really proud of our guys and proud of our effort. I just, it wasn't as good today, and I think our guys understand that our standard has to be better to win a series against a really quality ball club like Nevada.
In Game 3, the Spartans won their 3rd and final game of the series and put together one of their best wins of the year, finishing with the final score of 9-2. Down 2-0, the Spartans put together a 6th-run 5th inning that was a true hit parade. It started with the Reese Hernandez bases-loaded double and ended with a 2-run jack from Robert Slamchuk. Darren Jansen followed up 5 crisp innings from Aaron Eden and went 4 straight scoreless while striking out 6.
So I feel like if I had an opportunity, I wanted to pick up the team and get the series win. AE went out there and threw an amazing 5-6 innings, and then I was just glad I was able to go out there and throw up scoreless innings and get the team the win.
San Jose State's softball team has had a roller coaster season to say the least. It was an interesting series in mid-April against the Rebels. Zulma Kwanahui has a recap.
After a 3-game series against University of Nevada, San Jose finished with an even record of wins and losses, 20-0. The rainy weather foreshadowed the first game's results. The Rebels took the lead in the top half of the 2nd inning, 1-0. They maintained their lead throughout the next 3 innings. During the top half of the 6th inning, the Rebels secured their win when they scored against the Spartans, resulting in a 5-0 win. The rough start seemed to continue during their 2nd game, with UNLV quickly taking the lead in the top half of the 1st inning, 2-0. After making play adjustments from the previous game, SJSU went on to score in the 2nd inning, 2-1. The Spartans began to score one after another, scoring 2 more times in the 4th inning, 3-0. The second match resulted in SJSU taking a win. With an equal win and loss, the 3rd match was the final game in deciding who would win the series between SJSU and UNLV. In the final game, it was difficult to determine who would win in the 1st inning. That was until the Rebels scored 1-0. The Spartans had time to catch up until the last innings when time was running out. In the 6th inning, UNLV scored again, 2-0. Throughout the 7th and final inning, the 3rd game resulted in a 2-3 loss for the Spartans.
Since the series, the softball team has been swept by Boise State and San Diego State. They finished the season with a 3-game series at Utah State. So here's a trend that's been making waves lately, the What's in the Box challenge. The rules are simple. Find a person, in this case of course a San Jose State athlete, put a box in front of them with a random object inside their box. Of course, their guesses and reactions are hilarious. Run the clip.
Oh, is that a gator?
You have to feel this, bro.
Oh, inside? This is weird.
Oh, yo, what? Yo.
Oh!
That was fun. You all need to check it out. The full video would be uploaded to the Spears YouTube page, so be on the lookout. There's more to the world of sports beyond the athletes. The Spears Anthony Lucido goes behind the scenes to meet with the people who make up the voice, the music, and the spirit of sports.
My name is Russ Call. I'm the public address announcer for several San Jose State sports. Well, like most kids, I started playing, when I was very, very young, and played baseball up through high school. But along the way, I went to a lot of sporting events and was fascinated by the stadium announcer. From my first contact with the sports information department, I've been doing women's basketball since I was in school, and I think 1981, 82 was my first year announcing them. And that's one of the wonderful things that we had going at that point in the relationship between KSJS and the athletic department is they really trusted us. They knew that we were going to school to become professionals. That's what we were about. And any job that they asked us to do, we would perform in a professional manner. And they gave us that trust right out of the gate. And that's very rare to give a college student with virtually no experience that type of trust right from the start. The job of the public address announcer is just to let the people know what's going on. Not to embellish it. It's not a play-by-play position, and that's what a lot of people think I do. They think I'm broadcasting the game. No, I'm just in the building. I tell you who scored. I tell you who ran with the ball. I tell you who's coming to bat. I tell you who got the kill. It's not to say, "Wow, wasn't that a great kill by?" I'm not the cheerleader. I'm just the information giver. It can go so many different ways. The entertainment value of it, the competitive value, being around a team of people. And when I say a team of people, it's not necessarily the team that's on the floor competing, but there's a team of people that you work with that, especially in this age where the entertainment value of a game is so strong, you're working with video coordinators and people are writing my scripts, and it's a whole team of people that puts an entertainment package for a sporting event together, and being part of that is something special.
Trumpet.
My name's Lenny, I play sousaphone.
My name's Dustin, and I play trumpet.
I think I could speak for all of us here. We started doing this thing when we were all in high school. And so we sort of began getting exposed to the football atmosphere and the sports atmosphere right from high school, since the band is a part of that atmosphere, both here in high school and in college. But in terms of college specifically, I'd say that we bring the most energy that we could possibly bring to the table in terms of lighting up the atmosphere, providing music for everyone, and plus we're all there cheering on our team. So that's something that we offer to bring to the table.
So it comes with the time of being in the band. When you're a freshman, you look at the seniors and you see what they're doing and mimic that, whether it be playing-wise or just culture-wise. So it's like, while we do put a lot of work into the programs and everything we put on, the culture just keeps building and building. Even through the pandemic, it just kept building and building. We essentially started back where we were 2 years ago with the way we were culturizing and everything.
is Ashley. I'm a part of the Spectrum dance team, and I am our co-captain.
My name is Kira. I'm a 4th-year veteran on the Spartan Spectrum dance team, and I am head captain.
My name's Alexis Leinhardt, and I'm a 2nd-year veteran, and I'm just a dancer.
I started dancing when I was like around 10 years old. Ever since then, I've had a love for and passion for dance, and I wanted to continue that on into my college years because I love performing and
So I actually started off as a ballerina, and then I was introduced to Bruno Mars, and all of a sudden I just wanted to do jazz and, you know, more upbeat routines. So then I went on my high school team, and we did pom and jazz, which really helped me prepare for the Spartan Spectrum dance team.
I started dance when I was in ballet as well, and then for a little while I switched over to cheerleading for most of my years, which is why I'm also a 2nd year on here, because I was on cheer for the years beforehand. But I wanted to come back to dance because it's my life, it's who I am. I just get to groove, and I can still tumble as well.
I love getting to know, like, meet new people and build a bond with my team and just spread positivity and perform for all the teams.
Yeah, what I really like about being a part of Spartan Spectrum, in competitive dance, when they used to, you don't really interact with the audience, but when you're on this team, you do. So we get to see alumni, we get to see Greek life, students, faculty members. So that's the best part, really engaging with the school and like making them want to come to the games.
I have to say, probably getting to interact with all my teammates, from the band to the alumni. I personally know I do have a few alumni who are my friends since we have been meeting and greeting recently. And just getting to be a part of all the different performances and rallies really helps boost up my confidence as well, and just really helps build my character.
The symbiosis of the game, my job, and the crowd. It all feeds off each other. If I've got a good game to work, then I'm going to be at a high performance level. And if I'm at a high performance level and there's a good game to watch, the crowd is going to be involved in it. And the players feed off the crowd, and I feed off the players, and everybody feeds off each other. And that's where it gets really good. You've got to get in, you've got to get out. You don't want to be over the top of the action. You don't want to impose yourself on the game. You're just an ancillary figure. You're not part of the game. You're part of the entertainment package, but you're not part of the game. So the idea of get in, get out, get it right, and get it quick. You know, I don't want to be the guy out in front of it. In fact, that was one of the hardest things that I had to work through when I first took over the job. People would, you know, walk past me at the old Civic Auditorium after a game, and they say, "Oh, you had a great game tonight." I didn't play. I had nothing to do with us winning the game. I'm just a guy in the background. And for me to accept that I'm a part of that total entertainment package that people are entertained by, that includes the game. That's something that I've really had to work on, and it's taken me a long time to accept it.
Definitely the most challenging thing I'd say is the preparation, the rehearsal that we have to take. Every single song that we play, every single jingle that we play, there has to be a certain amount of rehearsal time that goes into it so that everybody plays it stylistically the same way, that it sounds the way we want it to sound. And also, there's the visual component too. We also got to look the part, and we got to move and look the way we want to as well. So we have like the sound component, which goes into music rehearsal, and then you have the visual component, which goes into the visual part of rehearsal as well. When we rehearse in person, we review both of those things.
I think all the time that goes into learning all the routines and all the chants and everything, it takes a matter of a couple practices, not just one, to really perfect them also.
Yeah, like as a dancer, we really we put a smile on our face. It's our job to, like an illusion, dance, perform, but behind the scenes, we are working hard. We have 3 practices a week, so there's a lot of effort into basketball games.
I'd say probably training off season too, because even though we have our 3 practices a week, we still have to go to dance classes outside of it, continuously keeping up with all of our routines and remembering every single one, as well as keeping up with all of our classes. As well as that's pretty much it. And then our summer training as well as our winter training for during the race seasons.
Start early. If you can do games in high school, or volunteer at your high school to do games. Find American Legion baseball or Little League baseball and volunteer there. If you have to volunteer to get in, that's your foot in the door. And if you're good, people will find you.
Just do it. Yeah, literally just do it. Reach out. It. Find someone that's in it, or go to a rehearsal, or even go up to the marching band at a football game or basketball game. Yeah. Anytime we'll be able to tell you what you need to do to get in.
Yeah, I guess our last notice to try out this for dance team in May. We're really excited for the next season, so marching up.
My name is Russ Call, and you're watching The Spear.
So check this out. So we're saying there's a chance. Yes, there's a chance that an SSU team may be on its way to a national championship this season. Now, it's only happened 10 times before, and it hasn't happened since 2009. But the women's golf team may become the 11th SSU program to win a natty. Women's golf set jaw-dropping tournament records 2 weeks ago on its way to a Mountain West crown. Finishing 30 strokes better than the runner-up New Mexico, SSU, who earned a #1 seed in the Ann Arbor Regional, 106 NCAA Regionals, teed off their first round today and finished 4th. The top 4 of each region advanced to the final field of 24. Be sure to stay up to date with our Twitter feed for coverage. We catch up again with the Spear's Anthony Lucido as he goes behind the scenes, this time to meet with people who are leading the next generation of sports professionals.
I'm Donna Nichols, and I teach Journalism 140C, which is sports journalism. It's the Spear, which is the only sports journalism program at any of the CSUs. I started about 35 years ago as a journalist working for the San Bernardino Sun, and I was a sports writer there, covering prep sports, which means high school sports. I'll tell you what I love about sports is that it doesn't matter who you agree with or who you disagree with in politics or anything else. If you're at a family gathering and your weird Uncle Joe is there and you absolutely disagree with him on everything, you can still sit down and have a conversation about sports. It's binding. It's the only other thing that binds people together like sports is music. And families and friends can come together to watch a Super Bowl or something like that, and sports brings people together. I ran into Phyllis, our director, one day, this was several years ago, coming out of the bathroom, and I said, oh, you know what, we need another section of MCOM 63 because all of them are full, and I'll teach it. And she goes, no, I've got something else in mind for you. And I said, what's that? And she says, well, there's some students who want to have a sports publication, and I want you to do it. I looked at your resume, and I saw that you used to be a sports writer. I thought, wow, she looked at my resume. That's pretty cool. And it was this was a suggestion by a couple of students who wanted to just do sports. And they thought, and we thought, that it would be something that would last only maybe a semester, and it's grown into a minor, and we're hoping to make it a major, a sports journalism major.
Hi, I'm Phyllis West Johnson. I'm the Director of Journalism and Mass Communications, the school here, and what I do is a lot of administration work. Sometimes I teach, just a little bit of everything. I work with all the faculty and the students. I mean, I think sports is an incredible cultural activity, but my last university, I worked with a department that we wanted a sports program really badly. And eventually we got that. We just kept pushing away with our alum and everything. And so I knew that in the back of my head because we established a good sports program. And so I knew when I came here, when I had 2 students come and ask me, you know, if we could start a sports program, I knew it would be a good idea. Right here in the Bay Area with all these teams around us, of course it'd be a good idea.
Dr. Sean Fletcher. I am an assistant professor of public relations and sport communication. Sport has been a common thread in my life from adolescent up until now, quite honestly. And really a lot of how I've come to sort of socialize in this world has been through sport. I speak in sport metaphors. And I then went on to sort of test my waters or test the waters of sport. I went on to work for the Washington Commanders, now they are, in the National Football League in player personnel. I spent a bit of time supporting the Washington Wizards out in Washington, D.C. when I lived out there, just to figure out if that was something that I wanted to do. And then I realized that it wasn't something I wanted to do as a career, but it was always something that I wanted to stay close to. So my primary courses are public relations and sport communication. And I just recently created a new course that's going to focus on sport and society and culture, sort of blending some of these societal issues that sport amplifies. So that'll start in the fall of 22. The courses that I teach now really focus on sport communication and media. It allows for our students to kind of get a preview as to what many of them may have in their future if they decide to go into different forms of media, whether it be journalism, whether it be public relations, whether it be from a social media side of things. I've had various guests come in, many folks who really kind of give a glimpse into what the journey is like to not just get to where they are, but also from an academic standpoint, from a socio-cultural standpoint, some of the challenges they face. It really gives students an opportunity to see and hear from folks who are out there in the industry doing this work, and not only that, to learn about the industry, learn about their craft, learn about just how unique sport is, and from your vantage point even, that you're going to take into your various vocation that you decide to pursue.
My favorite thing about it is just watching the journey that students take. Typically the first semester that they're on the Spear, they're quiet and a little bit timid, and next thing you know, after they've been there a few semesters, because it's a class that you can repeat 3 times, after they've been there a few semesters, I really watch them grow professionally. And my other favorite thing to see is when these students graduate, that they actually go to work in the field. And so many of them have.
My most favorite part about teaching sport communication is really seeing how students sort of put their guards down But they also have an enlightening moment when they realize that we're not just going to open up the newspaper and look at box scores and talk about how Steph Curry hit 35 last night or how the 49ers won or lost. We really start to unpack the nuances of sport, sort of the structure of sport, not just from an academic standpoint, but mainly talking about it from a vocation standpoint and what it is that sport entails as a career. So seeing students just become engaged from both a fan standpoint, but also starting to see them evolve into understanding the business of sport, and then ultimately seeing them network and prepare themselves to actually go and pursue a career in sport.
For the future, I mean, we already have a magazine, we have a sports newscast, we work with the Spear, we work with the Daily Spartan, so there's a lot of things we're doing already. But I think where we could expand, we do some 360 VR in our VR classes, but what if we really became a little bit more immersive and really thought about where the future is going to be over the next 20 years, the way sports are going to, where augmented reality, holograms, and everything are going to participate, are going to change the very nature of sports. So I see us growing into the future of where you see the industry is looking right now, having more immersive sports and students learning a little bit more technology. I think they've got down the writing skills and they've got down, they've got a good base for contacts and networking, but now let's just get the technology growing a little bit more. Well, I think we have sports communication, and then we have our Spear, we have our investigative sports journalism, which was the first one that I helped write, because I think that led to national awards and everything. In fact, I know it did. And so there's a lot of things we have as a good, strong foundation. But I think from there, we can continue, as we think of different ideas, we can continue to expand, like why not a course in esports or something like that.
My name is Donna Nichols, and you're watching The Spear.
That's going to wrap up things from here. As we leave you today, we want to remind you to keep your eyes peeled on our YouTube channel. And do us a favor and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest videos, content on the Spear. Also follow our social media feeds on Spear SSU on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.